I'm going to start while you're eating. If you want to still go up and get dessert or anything else, I won't be offended if you get up while I'm talking. Don't worry about it. But I know we want to get going because we have a lot of great presentations at all the grade levels, and we definitely want to see those guys get going. So I'll start with, again, welcome to the West Bridgewater Public Schools 16-17, or what we call them, your academic and technology showcase. So what we're really looking at is all of the accomplishments that we had this year, and we'll also look forward to next year and give you an idea of what some of the goals are in each of the school improvement plans and district-wide. I can say that I can't believe it's May. Every year it goes by faster and faster, and I know they say it goes by faster as you get older, and I can attest to that. But we really, again, had a great year in the West Bridgewater Public Schools. So let me go over some of the initiatives that we did district-wide. When we started out the school year with a fun welcome back video that I think a lot of you probably saw. You got to see our dancing abilities or lack thereof. And we were looking forward to, we did that at the end of July and got it ready. We were looking forward to, this is going to be a great year. We're starting with this video, everyone will be pumped. And then in August on my vacation, I got an email from the state Department of Education that we were going to have our district and school accountability audit by the state. I'm like, are you kidding me? So basically, everything got put on hold because they told us, and we'll be there the second week in January. We come for 3 days. We go to every school, we observe teachers, we look at all the paperwork that you have to get to us in the next 3 weeks, and we then will get back to you with how you're doing. So basically, a lot got put on hold, and my goals had to change a little bit because we had to prepare for this audit. And they look at our curriculum, instruction, assessment, leadership, human resources, basically everything that you do in the district, and they don't really give you a lot of time to prepare for it. So like I said, we did that. They came the second week that we got back from Christmas vacation, and they were here for 3 days, and the teachers can attest to the fact, and the principals, that they were all over the place, and they observed people and just came in and did all what they had to do. We had an exit interview when they were leaving on Wednesday afternoon, and I said, so, how'd we do? He said, you'll see that in the report. Oh, well, I bet it was neat seeing all the classes and stuff. You'll see that in the report. So, I bet the next thing you're wondering is, how'd we do? Well, I guess we'll see that in the report, because it's been 4 months, and I still haven't gotten anything from them. So, I guess we have to go on the no news is good news, but it's interesting that we literally had less than a month to put together, and I mean stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of documents and send it in, and it's 4 months to this day, and I still haven't got anything. So I'm hoping we did well. I think we did, but we'll see. So they're obviously in a rush. We also expanded the SCRO Virtual Learning Partnership, and I know Mr. Bogwell will talk about this more, but SCRO is the Southeast Collaborative Regional Organization, and it's all of the collaboratives on the South Shore and Cape Cod and the schools districts. There's 88 school districts. And we started our own virtual academy or virtual high school. We used to pay a vendor to give us some virtual courses for classes that maybe we didn't offer or that someone couldn't take because it didn't fit into their schedule, or college prep courses or AP courses we didn't offer, and it was getting expensive. group got together and we're trying to, will be our 4th year, putting together a virtual high school. Mr. Bardwell's goal is that he would like every student that graduates from West Bridgewater High School to have taken at least one virtual course. And the reason for that is because when they go to college, they're going to need the skills to be taking courses online or even portions of the course online. They also need to learn that they're self-paced and they may not have to go to class every day, but they need to have those skills. So if we can give them that experience here before they graduate, then that will be helpful to them when they leave us. So this year we had 40 students take courses through SCRO. I think we're going up to over 60 next year because the price, now that more and more schools on the South Shore are getting involved, the price is going down. And as more and more get involved, the price will go down and then we can afford it for all of our kids. So it's a great experience. It's in the infant stages, but we're excited about that growing and actually being one of the pilot schools in this program. Every administrator, when I looked at the presentation, will talk about the CMR model of technology integration that we're really trying to implement, and it takes, a long time to get everyone comfortable with this. But CMR basically is an acronym that stands for substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. And I'm going to explain it because I know that in every presentation after this, they're going to say, well, we've been working with CMR, and people are going to say, I really don't know what that is. So I'll give you the quick lesson on CMR. This is how you would integrate technology. It's great that we have one-to-one technology and we have all these computers and we have all these Chromebooks, but if they're not integrated seamlessly instead of an add-on, then they're kind of useless. And if teachers are just using them as an extra thing that doesn't make a difference in the way that kids are learning or transform learning, then they're kind of useless. So we adopted CMR. Substitution means that when I'll do it through an example. If you were doing something on poetry, a unit on poetry, and you asked kids to read some poems and analyze the symbolism in the poems, they could read it out of a book, or you could read it on a computer through a Kindle or something like that. That's substitution. It's something that you could do either way, it's just it substitutes. Okay? That's the lowest level, or the lowest rung on the CMR model. The next level is augmentation. So if you use the poetry example, maybe instead of analyzing it and writing it down, what you found after you read it, you put together some type of Google Doc and share it within the class and do a brainstorming on all of the symbolism in the poem, and the kids are all with their Chromebooks and they're looking and they see it and everyone's adding to that. So it's a little bit higher, it's a little more integration. Then the modification would really be something that probably wasn't done before we had technology. So maybe kids now, they go to the next step in the unit and they write poetry, start a classroom blog, put the poems on there, and those poems can be shared all over the world. And that wouldn't have happened before without technology. The next rung on the ladder is redefinition. This is any task it was inconceivable. It couldn't have happened without technology. We couldn't even think about it before we had technology. So in the same unit, you could have a poetry slam and have famous poets Skype into the classroom, and they would work with the kids in that way. That could never be done before if we didn't have technology. So the way we look at it is, sometimes it's substitution, but we don't always want it to be substitution. So teachers are learning different things so that they can have it more redefinition. It's higher order thinking. It's those higher level skills as they go up the ladder. So that's really what we're working on. We just got notification that we received $20,000 in STEM grants from PPG Industries, which is a distribution company for paints, but they also have part of their company is a STEM initiative where they try to promote science, tech, engineering, and mathematics. So teachers can apply for grants, and Jeremy Dempsey spearheaded this with one of our parents that is kindergarten students who works for PPG, and got all the teachers together to write individual grants. And we started elementary STEM this year in the classes, and we've got about $20,000. So it's really going to make a difference in our grant. And you can see we're in this beautiful new building. We received the American School and University Outstanding Design from the American School and University Architects. So I got this yesterday for an outstanding design of a building for a combined level building, meaning a middle, senior, high school. So that was pretty good. Some goals for next year: replacing elementary furniture. So if you want us to replace the elementary furniture, come to the June town meeting, because we have a warrant article for $100,000 because we need to update our elementary furniture. Some of it's fine, but a lot of it has been around probably since some of the parents that are in here were in those grades, and there's a lot of mismatched things. So we took care of the high school, now we have to make sure that we keep our elementary schools up to date. So we want to replace elementary furniture. So if the town passes that in June, we will be doing a lot of that. We put the roof on the Spring Street School last summer. This summer we're repaving the Spring Street School parking lot, and I forgot, I didn't put it on here, but also the road that's behind the Howard School that we started using for busing, and then it got torn up. We're going to be actually making that a road now, so we can actually have the buses go behind there. So again, if you want this to pass, come to the town meeting in June, because that's another warrant article that we did put on for that. So we have a lot of stuff going on. We did a lot district-wide, and now what I would like to do is move along to the schools so you can see what their accomplishments were and what their goals are for next year. And as you're listening to this, please think about it this way, and I hope at the end of the night you see that, wow, every school did a few things, but when you put it all together and look at it pre-K through 12, you go, wow, I'm really proud to be a part of this. This is a great system. We really did a lot. So I hope that you feel that way when the night's over. So we're going to start with the McDonald's School. And Mrs. Goulet.
Hello. So for those people that don't know me, I'm Keitha Goulet. I'm the principal at the Roselle McDonald School. This is my second year here. And it was probably still the best decision I've ever made. So we started out the school year with about 258 students and 4 brand new teachers. And from what I hear in history, that was probably the most new teachers Roselle has ever received at once. And they have been a wonderful addition to the Roselle community. We have 1 brand new teacher in each grade level and a special ed teacher. So it was hard to kind of narrow down the accomplishments that we had for the school year, but these were what we decided were the top ones. Seasonal reading challenges. So Mrs. Enos, our reading specialist, and I spoke at the beginning of the year. We wanted to entice children to read. We know that that's one of the most important things that they can ever do. So we all know that kids are competitive, and we wanted to feed off of that competition because it can be a healthy kind of competition. So Mrs. Enos spearheaded a reading challenge where students handed in a little leaf or a snowflake, and right now it's a baseball. For every 15 minutes they read. So that wasn't just good enough. We want to show the building of the reading throughout the school year. So if you see the bulletin board with the trees, that was displayed down by our gym. So each grade level had their own bulletin board. And the excitement the children had when they saw their trees building, you could hear it. They're like, no way, first grade's in the lead. So it really enticed them to read and hopefully would instill lifelong reading for the rest of their life. I did a little math of all the leaves and snowflakes and snowballs that were handed in throughout the spring, or the fall and the winter, and combined, they read 137,000 minutes. That's impressive. And we had about 80% participation for both of them, so that was amazing. So we know it's coming to the end of the school year. There's a lot going on, sports and what have you, so everyone likes baseball. So the new challenge is for every, and correct me if I get this wrong, Mrs. Enos, they are still handing in their baseballs for 15 minutes of reading. For every child who reads 4 or more hours, they get a free Rocked and Rocks ticket. And there's a specific game, and there'll be some kind of recognition while they're there. The winning classroom gets a challenge of playing wiffle ball with Mrs. Enos out in the backyard. And I do have to say, I am pretty good at wiffle ball, so I might have to come sometime. But it is definitely enough of an enticement to get our kids to read, and we all know that's super, super important. The RLM Pride program, that was something that I started this year. It was to align with the Pride program that runs at Spring and at the Howard. Each month, we focus on a character trait: honesty, responsibility, gratitude, generosity, acceptance. And the teachers nominate the students. At the one time during the month, we have a school-wide assembly and the kids get recognized. The excitement, and I know some of the Roselle kids are here now and some of them have already won, the excitement they get when they hear their name getting called and that their classmates are cheering them on. That in its own is good enough for me. They get so excited to see their friends win an award, and then their pictures get displayed in the lobby, as well as teachers focusing on the trait for the month. So this week we'll be having our assembly on honesty. So all month of May, the students worked and the teachers worked on how important it is to be honest. Community outreach. West Bridgewater is amazing with how much town and community support we receive. I was going through my emails and Facebook to try to make a list of everyone that has ever helped out or had something to do with it, and the list was too big. It starts in the fall with the open space committee who comes and organizes a scavenger hunt at recess. And you see the kids running all over the playground looking for different pieces of nature. We have the community support of the police and the fire. One of the raffle wins that we had this year at Easter Bunny Breakfast was 2 second graders won a fire truck ride to school. And that was amazing. The kids were so excited, and their whole class got to have a picture taken with the fire truck. For first grade career day, we had multiple West Bridgewater police officers, firemen, local military come out and support their soon-to-be colleagues in their uniforms, and they all had their pictures taken inside the police cruiser and inside the fire truck. So that was great. The High Five Friday, a day where the police department was at school and giving high fives. That's a daily occurrence. We had a specific police officer who was willing to get dressed up for the Dr. Seuss photo op and put on a costume, and we even posted that on the West Bridgewater police site. So it's always good fun. And I do have to say that same person also was flipping water bottles at lunch, which was not really my favorite thing to do, but he definitely got the kids excited. Increased focus on small group instruction. That was one of my goals starting in West Bridgewater. It just is a great opportunity for children to get up and move and work in focused groups. And the teacher's been doing a great job of really implementing those in the classroom this year. So some of the goals that we're looking for the next school year. For the last 3 years, we've had a grant through West Bridgewater, the behavioral health grant, and that unfortunately will be over. That provided a social worker at the school who worked with the students on conflict resolution, ways to self-regulate their emotions, and I don't want that to go away. So we spoke in depth with the school psychologist and our behavior specialist, and we're going to continue that next year with specific direct instruction in the classroom to help our students, especially with conflict resolution, how to teach them to deal with resolution and conflicts with their peers. Focus on differentiated instruction, so now that teachers are using small groups more frequently, making sure that the students are getting what they need in the class or in their small groups, that all the students are doing the level work that they should be doing. And Dr. Oakley's talked a little bit about the SAMR model. Our teachers have done PD throughout the year, and we'll be looking for them to implement it and be creative with how they use the fantastic technology that we have here in West Bridgewater. So I am going to thank my school council. They were amazing. It was a big group this year, but we definitely, I think, created a plan that will make Roselle one of the best places to be. And we are going to start the highlight of the show with the first grade, Mrs. Puliakako and her students.
All right, thank you all for coming. I have my friends with me tonight. I have Gavin and Ellie, and we're going to talk about the first grade animal habitat project. So in the fall of first grade, we had this idea that we were going to take on this big project in first term, which is a big deal in first grade. It's a big transition for them, and this is a big project to take on, but they handled it amazingly well. We decided that we were going to incorporate nonfiction book covers and animal habitats. So this involved all first grade, all children, all classrooms. It was a cross-curricular project between the STEM teacher, the STEM specialist, and the technology specialist, and the classroom teachers. And we addressed research, we addressed understanding of what a nonfiction text is and why we use them in our lives. We addressed the science standards, we had peer collaboration, and we included a homeschool connection, which was a really big piece for the kids because it brought home exactly what they were working on every day with us. So we started out by brainstorming, because that's the easiest way to sit down and just think it out. The kids came up with a really large list, over 100 animals that are native to New England. We split that list up by the 4 classes, and the children were allowed to pick their own animal. They also had a partner within their room that chose the same animal. So that way there they had a peer that they were able to sit with and work with day in and day out on this project together, and that they could collaborate on not only the book cover, but the habitat as well. So research was done, which is amazing to think that first graders are doing research. But the first graders did research. We first used our school library because it's such an amazing resource to have, and it's right there for us. So we went to the library and we looked up some of our animals, we pulled books, and then we also used the MyOn app, which is a district supplied app. It's think of it like a, kind of like your Kindle. It's an e-text app, but the children can actually search for books that they're looking for, and it's leveled for them. So it's meant for them to actually be able to either read the book on their own or be able to listen to the book if they're not at that point yet, but it is leveled to them, specifically and individually. So the picture that you see in the upper right-hand corner is actually a search on foxes using the MyOn app, and all of those books come up when the search is done for foxes. And then the picture that you see below is the child being able to select that particular book, and she would then select the green button at the bottom, which would allow her to listen to the book being read to her. We addressed a lot of different standards throughout ELA, science, etc. through this whole project. The cross-curricular pieces. In the technology classroom, that with the technology specialist, the children actually learned how to search appropriately Google looking for pictures of their animal. And they were able to then learn how to copy and paste that picture onto a Google Doc and type their own name as the author at the bottom. So they created their book covers in the technology lab with the technology specialist. With the STEM specialist reinforced all of the teaching about the science standards relating to the specific animals, relating to New England climate, relating to, which ones hibernate, which ones migrate, all those kinds of things that are important. And also, that is where the children went to work together to build their habitats. The classroom piece, this is where we sat down and we worked with the kids on the book covers themselves. The nonfiction book cover, we had to get into the detail with the kids on understanding the difference between fiction and nonfiction, understanding why we use nonfiction and what purpose it serves in our lives. And then we also had to support them in small groups. And we had each child identify 3 facts that they felt were the most important to them about their animal. So it's hard to put yourself aside and say, oh, okay. But they chose what was the most important to them. And that's where this project really became theirs, and it became personal to them, because no 2 book covers are the same. And then they also learned about what a caption to a photo is, and why an author would use a caption to a photo, and how a reader will read the caption and understand what the picture is about. Okay, and here's a couple of examples. So this is Gavin's Black Bear project, and this is his book cover, and these are his fun facts. And this is Gavin's habitat, which is up here. We did bring the actual habitat, right? We have it. It's amazing. We have the actual habitat here, so please make sure that you take a peek at it. But Gavin, what was your favorite part of this project?
Trying to find out what were the most important parts about the black bear.
Okay. And what do you think is the coolest fact about a black bear?
Bears like to nap in trees.
Did you know that before you did this project?
A little bit, yeah.
You did? I would not have known that. I thought they would have just slept on the ground. So, very cool, thank you. Now I know, and Gavin helped me to learn that. And next we have Ellie's project. This is Ellie's project. Ellie did the red fox. And this is her book. That's her book cover and her inside. And then the next slide, there we go. That's Ellie's habitat. Cute little fox. And Ellie, what was your favorite part about doing this project?
Like how it got to be my favorite animal, and like I had to do research on it, and like I could figure out more about it.
Very nice. And what do you think is the coolest fact about the red fox?
Foxes use their tails to keep them warm.
Nice, very good. All right, thank you very much. That's our Animal Habitat Project.
So next we'll have Mrs. Green with her students to talk about their Recycled Robots project.
Good evening. My name is Mrs. Green. I've been teaching 2nd grade for a number of years now, and this has turned into one of our favorite projects. Each November, we read a story in our Pearson reading anthology called Pearl and Wagner, Two Good Friends. And what these 2 little guys do is they enter a robot into the science fair at school. And the whole theme of the story is working together as good friends. And that's pretty much what you come away with when you read the story. Well, I took it another step, and my class and I decided to make our own robots. So this project is around Thanksgiving, the beginning of Christmas time, the holidays are coming closer, so the kids are getting pretty antsy. So it kind of anchors them and it gets them excited about their project and what they're doing in school rather than what's under the Christmas tree. So what I do is I send out an email to my families at home before Thanksgiving, telling them to save anything they can. Save those cereal boxes, their paper towels, cans, anything they can think of, because we're going to be building robots in the classroom. And slowly but surely, they begin to come in. And this is just a smidgen of what we got this year. I still have 2 trash bags full of this, which are going to be waiting for my students next year. But it's amazing what the kids can do with these things. I'm just kind of, I kind of take a step back and I let them be the creators. I don't tell them how to assemble it. I might give a little bit of guidance, but it's amazing what they come up with. There's a little video of the day. Just click on that. Right on it. So as you can imagine, at the end of this, it looks like a tornado came through. But it's one of my favorite days of the year because I hear so much teamwork, they're working together. They have their choice. They can either create a robot on their own or they can work as a team. And so many of them choose to work as a team, which is wonderful to see. And so this is sort of the end result. If you can make out some of the legs and the faces, and we have Moby here, we'll introduce in a few minutes. But it really is amazing what they come up with. Very, very creative. And we also talk about what our robot can do. What are its chores? Is it going to help you with your homework? Is it going to clean your room? That type of thing. So they'll come up and they'll do a little presentation. And this is Moby. This was one that Brendan, who was here tonight, Brendan did this one.
Okay, so his name's Moby? Yeah.
So Moby moves, and Brendan kept this from the whole class, and I said, "You're done already?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And I said, "Oh," and he put it down on the floor, and the thing started moving all over the place, which I thought was ingenious. But anyway, we took it a step further, and we invited Mr. McMurray to come in, Mr. McMurray and some of his students, to come in and talk about what they're going to see in the future as far as robotics here at the high school. So it was pretty exciting, and he gave us some advice on what we could do to improve our project, and introduced us to his students and some of the creative things that they came up with. So that was fun. This is something that I added this year that hopefully we can continue, and maybe have the kids come in and even help. So this is a picture of my class and Mr. McMurray's class kind of collaborating together and talking about what robots do and all the good things that can happen in a classroom. And they showed us our creations, and the kids were amazed. You can hear a pin drop in that room. And so this is Caitlin, and this is her robot. Caitlin is here tonight. Caitlin, you want to raise your hand and come up? Hey, and she has her robot with her. You want to come up and say hi? Come on up. What was the coolest part of doing this project?
That you can make your robot do anything.
Make your robot do anything. Good. Thank you. And our next one is Brooke. Unfortunately, Brooke could not make it tonight, but that is her with her robot. She's very proud of it. And these are displayed out in the hallway. Now, this is Brendan with Moby. And Brendan, give us a wave. Why don't you come on up? And was the one who made Moby move. And can you tell us how you did that?
I had to it was really hard, but I had to ask my brother to let me use his remote control train, and then I got this box. I got the box. I spray painted it. Then I got 2 pipe cleaners, 2 googly eyes, and a whiteboard marker.
Thank you, Brendan. And our last one is George. And George, come on up. George had the eating robot. And can you tell me what your robot does? There's his eyes. Ooh, he eats.
Well, he cleans my room.
Cleans your room.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's wrapping paper that he eats.
So this one he puts to work. Okay? But that's our project.
All right, last we have Mrs. Yanis, 3rd grade teacher.
So, teaching 3rd grade is interesting because the students have to be fluent in multiplication facts by the end of the year, and that's always a challenge. Trying to get 25 kids to learn all their multiplication facts in a fun and engaging way. The drill and kill doesn't work. The weekly time test wasn't working. So when we started 3rd grade, I was trying to look for an interesting way to get the kids excited about learning their math facts. And I was doing some research and I came across this program called Reflex Math, and I wrote a grant. It was really an easy grant to write. And our class got the grant and I was awarded 30 student licenses. Well, I have 25 kids, so I said, what could I do with the extra licenses? And I gave them to the SPED teachers, so we were able to have 2 classes do this. Reflex Math is a engaging, effective, fun. It's standards focused. It builds on the fact families and it reinforces the mathematical concepts needed in 3rd grade. It's highly adaptive and individualized, so the kids work at their level, which I really like. Students are engaged in increasingly complex and fast-paced decision-making. So they have to be able to think, click, and then they get rewarded for their thinking and clicking, right? So when we started, our starting fluency was only 18%. This slide was made a couple days ago, well, 3 weeks ago. We're now at 75% fluency for the 25 kids in the class, and they've solved over 125,000 math facts. We have awards all across hallway. You have over 4,000 facts solved. You have over 5,000 facts solved. 4,000. So each child has at least 2,000 facts solved. So that to me was proof. Can we?
Yeah, Lisa just worked.
All right, so Dustin, you want to log in first and show them what you like best about Reflex?
Yeah.
So Anna and Dustin are going to show you a little bit about what they like. Their accounts may look different because they're individualized to them.
How do I mark this thing?
So you're just going to click on this, and then you're going to go into there like we're going.
Maybe we're not going to log in. Okay, so moms is trying to get a relief. Why don't you, Dustin, why don't you tell us what you like best about Reflex?
I like
I thought I brought a plug out.
because
Oh, I
it
guess I
helps
forgot.
me learn and explain it.
Did you like to just learn them by writing them or being tested every week? Or is this more fun? At least you're honest. Anna, what did you like about it?
I like Reflex because it helps you learn your math facts without, and it's a fun way to learn them.
What was that, Dylan? I mean, Dustin?
And it's not just a fun game, it's learning.
It's not just a fun game, it's actually learning. So, who wants to talk about Coach Penny? Want to talk about Coach Penny? Tell them about Coach Penny. Coach Penny is a character that comes up on when they're having difficulty with a concept or a problem, and Coach Penny will come and give them a little pep talk and help them through their struggles. And they each, all the kids have an avatar that they earn coins for, and they can buy new clothes for their avatar, but a lot of them are saving their coins. What are you gonna buy in the end? Have you bought anything yet? What did you buy?
I bought a pond for a tree that you can plant, and I bought a lot of clothes for my avatar.
Did you buy anything yet, Dustin? What'd you buy?
I bought lots of clothes for my person, and I bought butterflies for my tree. And I'm trying to save up my money for a black panther. So I can, for my new pet.
Oh, for your new pet, you want a Black Panther as your pet? So, like I said, it's highly individualized. The kids work at their pace. They have to do it at least 15 minutes 3 times a week. So every morning we try to do it a little bit, and it'll give me, it's chock full of data for the teachers, which is something I love. The kids don't see the data, but I do. And I can tell who's making progress, who's been doing extra work at home. It's just a real good program, and hopefully I can get a grant again next year for it. I guess we're not going to
Sorry.
Oh, there's some of what my experts are saying. They like Reflex because the games are fun and I learn math too. That was not Dylan, but it was another Dylan in my class. I like Reflex because you're playing games and learning. Reflex helped me get more fluent and better at my math facts. They said fluent, I didn't write that, they said that. I like Reflex because it makes learning fun. Also, there are so many activities. I like that I can customize my avatar. They have fun where you learn your facts, and sometimes you think of it like a game, not like a learning program. I like Reflex because it has helped me learn. While I'm learning, it won't make me stressed. And I think that one's the best one. Is they're not stressed, they're gonna learn.
I wanted to thank all the families and the students who came out tonight and came to share the wonderful things that Roselle McDonald is doing. So now I'm going to pass off the microphone to Mrs. Spencer, who will share about the Spring Street School.
Good evening, welcome to our presentation, and I know that the kids are the best part, so in between we get to listen to the principals, and I will be up here twice. This is my second year as principal of the Spring Street School, and I'm enjoying every minute of it there. It's such an upbeat place to be each day, and it's a wonderful balance for me to go back and forth from grades 4, 5, and 6 over to Spring Street to preschool and kindergarten.
And I gotta check if this is working.
And our beautiful shrubs are in bloom right now. If you happen to be here, you'll see them. And there have been so many things that I could have talked about tonight as far as accomplishments at the Spring Street School. And with the help of our school council, there were a couple of suggestions. And I thought those are what we really want to highlight right now. This is the first year that we have had Wildcat Pride at Spring Street. And it's been a work in progress to get it streamlined to exactly how we want it to be. But I can tell you the kids bought into it right away with the help of their teachers. And we started it at Howard School. I'm really happy to hear that Roselle is participating, and Spring Street. So now we have Wildcat Pride from kindergarten up through grade 6. So you can see some of our younger students there with their awards. They beam when the teachers are taking their pictures. They know the theme that we're working towards. We actually took the themes from the Howard School and modified them so that they would be completely understood by preschoolers and kindergarten children. So they're very much aligned with the Howard School. And last month we had Taking Care of the Earth, which at the Howard School is environmental awareness. And we had so many students who were recognized. So as in the Howard, we have a monthly assembly where all of the students who have been recognized by their teachers for the theme of the month come together. So it's a way to get preschool and kindergarten together. And at the beginning of the year, for our assemblies, the kids had trouble sitting, some of them didn't quite understand what was going on, they had to get used to standing up when they heard their name, and some of our youngest preschoolers struggled through it a little bit in the beginning, and you should see them now. It's quite an accomplishment to know that they have learned how to come down for an assembly, pay attention for close to about 25 minutes, hear their name, be recognized, listen while other students' names are being called, and to know that there's an overall theme that we're all there for and we're all celebrating the recognition of our students. So it's gone extremely well. The other picture, we have had a program in preschool through some funding for our program with Miss Carey, who comes into preschool a couple of times a week between 2 classes. And once again, to see how the students have learned music and expressing themselves through music, through song and dance and movement activities is really impressive. I really wish that you could see it. Some of our students who in the beginning didn't really know what to do when they were hearing the music, Ms. Carey has been able to just captivate them when she's there. She has a very soothing voice. She speaks in rhythm and rhyme and movement. And the students absolutely love their time with Miss Perry. So it's been sort of an evolution of their appreciation of movement and being able to get up in front of their peers and just creatively dance and have that freedom to do that uninhibited. It's something to watch. So we're very proud of that accomplishment and extremely proud of our children for participating. Dr. Oakley explained the SAMR method. It has been wonderful here for our teachers who have gone through some training to raise the level of technology use from substitution, trying to get up to that R for redefinition, and they're putting a strong effort in. We are all kind of all over the place as far as whether we're at S, A, M, or R, but we are definitely moving up the ladder to the R. And on different days, sometimes there may be substitution, some days there may be modification, and sometimes we get to that R for redefinition. And all of it includes interactive lessons with the children. As you can see, one of our preschoolers interactively working with the whiteboard. And we have increased in kindergarten our small group instruction through learning centers. Thank you to our parent volunteers who faithfully come in and take groups of students. When you're in the kindergarten classrooms and it's learning centers time, it's really hard to tell who's the teacher and who are the parents, because the parents are teachers during that time, and they take it very seriously, and they dedicatedly come in through the year, all over the winter, whether it's raining, snowing, they're there. And we couldn't do this without them. The students are able to work in small groups, maybe 4, 5, or 6 to one teacher, and the teacher gets to work with all of the children during that time because the children rotate. And if you get to see that over at Spring Street School, it's really a wonderful process. All of the teachers are doing it with the help of their parents and instructional assistants, and it's a very hands-on time. There is something exciting going on in the whole area of the kindergarten, out in the common areas, using computers, doing reading at a table, some type of hands-on creative art type activity that's connected to the curriculum. So we are very proud of that accomplishment as well. We're also proud of our RTI process, which we have 100% online through the use of technology. All of our forms are shared with the RTI team, and RTI is response to intervention. So it is a group of us who meet every 2 weeks as needed and try to come up with strategies for students who are struggling in some area of their academics or social behavioral challenges at school. And we put our heads together and we use all of our resources to find different ways to teach them something that they may have been having trouble with, or how to refine social skills or working in groups. And we come back usually after 3 weeks or so to see how the student has progressed toward the goal that we set for them at our previous meeting. And we certainly have some success stories at the Spring Street School this year. We have the Banty Services grant that I believe Dr. Hansford started for us last year. This is our second year of it, and we have really been fortunate to have Dr. Livingston come in. Well, we have Jessica Baptist comes into our schools 2 to 3 times a year, and she is given the names of students to observe. Teachers present students who might have some challenges in some area. Jessica comes in and observes them, reports back to Dr. Livingston, who then comes and meets with the teachers and a group of us. And we find him to be extremely knowledgeable, and he's helped many of our teachers with interventions and strategies to help the children. So the end of the year is coming. We have one more visit at Howard School, but all the way through Spring Street and Howard, and I believe Roselle as well. It has been a successful program, and we're grateful. We are also super proud of our parent survey results this year. I just wanted to highlight 3 questions that we did for ourselves, and Spring Street teachers, please pat yourselves on the back for this. One of the questions, my child's teachers are approachable. The survey says 100% of our responses were a yes. The communication between home and school is appropriate and informative. Survey says 100% yes. My concerns are addressed in an appropriate and timely manner, 100% yes. Those are quite lofty goals if you plan them for yourself, for your school, and to actually achieve that is kudos to the staff at the Spring Street School. The Spring Street School Council met throughout the year. We had some great discussions and were able to really move ahead in a couple of areas in particular with goals for the Spring Street School. We would like to unify preschool and kindergarten classes through increased shared assemblies and end-of-year activities. We started that with the Pride Assemblies this year. It's going very well. We love having all of the kids together. As you know, in the Spring Street School, preschool is at one end, kindergarten is down 2 hallways at the other end of the school, and with full-day kindergarten and half-day sessions in preschool, it's a little tricky with timing to try to get the kids together, but we're working towards it. We've had success this year with Wildcat Pride. We're working more towards it next year. And part of what we would like to do is get the kids outside together a little bit, and we realize we need some more space to do that. So we worked very hard this year at School Council to investigate areas and find resources for an additional recess area to include a blacktop area for recess all year. So we have one area where there's mulch and another small area where there's grass. But we do need a blacktop area. We need kids to be able to bounce balls and maybe have a basketball hoop out there. We did have one area in mind. We were making some progress toward that, and then we found out that there were gas lines underneath, and we had to stop and think of another area. We have another one in mind to start the year off next year, and thank you to the school council for all of their help with that. Just a few Spring Street School Smiles for you, which you'll see all day, every day when you're there. And thank you so much to all of the school council members. It's a large school council, and we accomplished a lot. We have great discussions, and are looking forward to next year. And now the highlight of the Spring Street School, the presentation by Mrs. Kim Gauthier and two of her students.
Hello, everybody. I am Mrs. Gauthier. Pass my iPad off here. And I have the lovely Alana and the lovely Addison here to help me present. Can you wave her? And I also have my team up here with me because in kindergarten we really try and work together on these projects. So it's not just me, it's our whole team. So we have Kara Jennings, Jennifer Conroy, and Erica Gillis up here as well to support. So I warned the girls to have a couple minutes of boring talk for the grown-ups before they talk, so they're ready and they're being so patient. So what are we focusing on in kindergarten right now? We are working really hard to incorporate more science into our overall curriculum. Because when we're 5 years old, it's tricky to get a lot of hands-on science in when we're also learning how to read and what a number is, and this is 1 and this is 10, and it's tricky to get everything in school day. So we're really working hard at that. And we're researching different ways to get more technology into our curriculum. We do use the computers daily, we do use the iPads frequently, but like many of the other speakers have said, we're working on that SAMR model. So we're really trying hard in kindergarten to get to that next level, which isn't always easy when there's all these other pieces of the puzzle coming into play. So we're really working hard at that together as a team. Right, ladies? Yes. So, with that being said, the girls are going to show you a couple of things. So they have done a lovely project on ladybugs, which incorporates our science, some reading, some writing, and then they took their ladybug project and they put it into an app called Sock Puppet. So before they show you their beautiful ladybug artwork, they are going to show you how to use the app. Right, girls?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Jennings is just going to go grab the stool that I left at the table so the girls can reach a little better at the iPad. So come on over, girls.
Do you want to tell everybody what you're doing?
Okay. So girls, what is this app? What are you going to be showing everybody?
Sock puppets.
And what do you do with sock puppets? What do you do with them?
You make the puppets out of them.
You make puppets out of them, right? Sure, so come on up here on the stool so you can see. See, everyone can see up there on the screen. Do you see, girls?
Yes. Right over here, Alana. Come on up. Okay. Well, let's just go back.
Okay, so girls, tell us what you're going to do.
We are going to make sock puppets.
Okay, show us how.
First, you press
New.
new.
Now what do we do, Addie?
We pick what puppets we want.
Okay, so how do you do that?
We
You can both talk. Go ahead.
press.
I'll hold it, you stand. How's that? Go ahead.
We press on the puppets we want. And we can press on anyone we want. It's not like they can
So you can choose any ones? All right, both of you choose the puppet. Go ahead, show everybody how we do it. Okay, so after you choose the puppets, what do?
You press
Next.
You press next, and then you choose a background.
Okay, how do I do that? How do I do that?
You press on the one you want.
Okay, go ahead, next.
And then you press next.
What's all this stuff?
Stuff that you want in your picture.
So you can pick whatever you want and it goes in your picture?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, pick some stuff. All set? Okay, now what?
We press next. We press next.
And then what do we do? Now we have our picture and our puppets. What do we do now?
We talk.
Okay. You ready to try? Or should we just show them the one you already made?
Yes.
So what they would do here is then they record their voices, which they have done, and we have some ready for you. But the girls really wanted to show you how they know how to use the app, and they're pretty skilled with it now. So what we did with the lady, as you can see, they're very skilled, they're moving them all around. What we did with the ladybugs was we started with a piece of paper, and we did some reading, and we did some writing, and we watched a little video, and then we learned about the life cycle. Girls, go get your ladybugs and show everybody. Hold it up nice and high, go ahead. Look at that artwork, isn't it great? I know, it's stool troubles up here. So now let's show everybody what you learned about ladybugs. Are you ready? And both of these are Alana and Addison. So here we go.
Do you know the ladybug life cycle? Yes. First there is eggs. And then it's a larva. Then a pupa. And then it's finally a ladybug. That's the ladybug life cycle.
Wasn't that great, everybody? And because they loved it so much, they made one more, right, girls?
Yes.
Yes. Should we show them?
Yes.
Let's do it. Like the background on this one, everybody? Like I said, they get to pick what they want.
Do you know cool things about ladybugs? Yes, and they can lay up to 5,000 eggs in their lifetime, and they can only fly when it's hot out. Now, even on a brother and sister, they don't find food attacks. And that's what happens to ladybugs. Regular voice, and that's not a regular voice. That would make it easier.
Oh, Alana's saying that it's also called larva. So when they're brother and sister, they're in the larva stage. So Alana's just clarifying for everyone because they did learn all this wonderful information. But as you can see, we're really trying hard to take our learning to the next level. And now these two lovely ladies are quite skilled at this app, the sock puppet. So they will be not only teaching the other friends in our class, but other classrooms as well. So they have many other kindergarten friends to share this with. And I'm sure they're very excited. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
But before we go, I do have one last thing to share. It is Alana's 6th birthday today. Can you join me in wishing her a happy birthday? Would you mind singing to her? She is at a very big presentation, being so brave. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alana. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, everybody.
Did you want to show it? Yeah.
Oh, go ahead and show. Go ahead. pushover. But girls just want you to see the inside of their ladybugs. There we go. Very nice. Go ahead, you can walk around and show. Go ahead.
You're welcome.
You just follow her.
Mr. Bardwell has a very tough act to follow.
It's either following lunch or following the ladybugs. Neither are good. Tough act to follow. I'm very proud to talk about some of the accomplishments this year at the middle senior high school. We've got a lot of them. Dr. Oakley talked about our online learning component. We've done online learning for a number of years using a number of different platforms. But now the SCRO program really works for us. It's taught by the local teachers in the area. Very easy to contact if you have questions or concerns, checking on student progress. Our counselors can reach out to them. Having over 40 students enrolled this year in both half and full-year courses. Next year, hoping to get up to 60. One of the real important things are we have our own teachers who are trained using this online component, which I think makes them a much better educator in today's educational world, that they're using these online resources effectively in the classroom. So again, the goal is to get all students to take some type of online learning opportunity, because that's the type of blended learning that they'll have when they get into college or any type of assessments in the future. This year we started our middle school elective courses. In the past, our middle school courses have been very prescribed. They take the same courses every year. And we had an opportunity in the H-block class time to have students pick courses that they wanted. The teachers then had the opportunity to create new courses. Create classes like sports and statistics, business math. We had a, what's science like in the world today? Good learning opportunities, and then they were mixed between grades 7 and 8. So it was exciting for our middle school kids and our incoming 7th graders too to fill out a Google form and pick the classes that they wanted to take. So we're very excited to do that this year. Batteries down.
Where do you get batteries? Oh, wait, I have some on stage.
All right, I can talk to that though. We started this year. Last year we did a lot of professional development with our teachers in terms of online learning, with the one-to-one Chromebooks that they have, throughout the whole year. This time we wanted to share what they're learning. So during staff meetings, we'd have teachers from different departments give a 5-minute, show and tell of what they're doing. It gave an opportunity for them to learn something, but also a resource later to go to. Our new media and educational technology specialist housed up in the Learning Commons, also at Tech Tuesdays. So again, an opportunity, it's just kind of a drop-in. You go, you see what the teachers are doing, learn something new, and then use it in the classroom. I tell you, our teachers are awesome. They learn something, they see something, and I walk around and I see them doing it the very next day. We were fortunate with our seniors this year. We wanted to do something special for them, and we hope it's starting a tradition. We took them down to Sandwich, to the adventure park, a high ropes course. We've done things like this in the middle school before, bonding experiences, kind of getting them a little bit out of their comfort zone. We were very fortunate. Reed Hoffman Insurance across the street, Adam Hoffman, a former graduate, gave us a lot of money to help support the program. But it was awesome to see these kids up on these high ropes. They're doing zip wires. The goal is to do it again next year, because I think it was a very positive result from that day. But next year we're either going to do that, or we're talking about doing some whitewater rafting with our seniors next year. Again, bonding, getting them together, and I think it's good for the class. And this class, the senior class, has proven to be a great class so far. We've really worked on our outreach programs with the West Bridgewater Council on Aging. We're very fortunate in our schools and Council on Aging that we're almost like a campus. So this year we've done 3 different things with them. We've had a technology Help Stay, where we had students go over and have them work on maybe finding some apps or how to, use the iPhone, how to use an iPad. That was very beneficial, I think. We've recently started a walking club. We always felt with the building and the facilities here, it's a community space. So we're excited that they brought some of their members over and walking with some of our students. And on April 10th, we had the senior prom over there. And Mrs. Page did a wonderful job coordinating that with the Council on Aging staff. We had over 20 students volunteer. We had a live band playing for them. We had teachers here making decorations for the senior center. We had Mrs. Grinder providing the food. They had a photo booth. Someone showed up in a limo. It was just like prom, minus a few other things, but it was awesome. They had such a great time. And I love seeing their faces. I love talking to our students after, because I think they really realized how important it was to the seniors. They had fun, they danced with the seniors, kids danced around and just were kind of the model students. They sat at tables with them. It was an awesome afternoon. We had a couple of kids who missed a tennis match. They said, that's okay, I'd rather be here. It was just a wonderful community event. So we hope to continue our relationships with the Council on Aging in the future. We have academic seminar classes and tutors, grades 7 to 12 for our at-risk students. Students who may not fall into be on an IEP, but need some extra help. So we're providing them with opportunities. It's a very rigorous schedule here. They take 8 classes. We don't have study halls. So they're engaged all day. This gives them an opportunity to get some extra help, have someone to go to a check-in person. We have the tutors pushing into classes, but also pulling out into the academic spaces with them. We always tell the kids that their safety and security is our #1 priority. For our seniors, on Monday the 15th, their last day, we have a senior safety day. We have representatives from the police department, fire department, and our lead nurse do a CPR training for them. So our feeling is when they leave here, they're either going off to college or they may be living on their own, providing them with what's life like after they get out of high school. So some real life health stuff that really has worked in the past. We had a safe dates program, which talks about dating violence, talked to our high school students this year, in coordination with the West Bridgewater Police Department. Very beneficial, giving great valuable information to our young men and our young ladies. Every year we have a junior prom talking about student safety, when they're out at events such as the prom. Prom is kind of the highlight thing, but it's really good information day to day. We had a district-wide bullying awareness night hosted here. After our MCAS testing, we had a mindfulness speaker come in and talk to our students to kind of hopefully calm them down a bit after the rigorous testing. And we do a great piece in depression training for our 9th graders. We've really pushed and expanded our global learning experiences for our students. A huge credit to Mrs. Pistorino, who is here tonight and will be presenting later, helping to coordinate all of these programs. We have connections with Costa Rica, France, and China. We had students travel here from France this October. In January, we had a group of students come from Costa Rica, and in March, we had students from China. In April, we sent a group of students over to France, and we'll be sending a group of students down and teachers down to Costa Rica in June of this year. It really makes the place come alive, having the students in the building, talking with the students. It's a real community experience. Some of our goals for the coming year, we'd love to start a bridge program for our at-risk students who are returning from school, maybe from hospitalization or an extended absence, giving them the opportunity to kind of slowly integrate back into the regular classroom. We would like to have a mentor program for our incoming 7th graders. Mrs. Page and I will be meeting with the current juniors, our soon-to-be seniors, after our seniors graduate, to try to find them buddies in the 7th grade. So when they come for orientation, they may have 1 or 2 buddies that they're going to be with for the year, kind of a check-in. All of our seniors have a 20-hour community service requirement. This would be an awesome opportunity for them to, work with the younger kids. In August, we're planning a student-athlete parent informational night. They will talk about things like concussions, the athletic handbook, bona fide team rule, expectations for our athletes as they enter the year, what to expect with the chemical health policy, and so forth. We have in the past, we're looking to expand our Power Block guest speaker series to have at least a couple speakers come in every month. Students can just simply sign up to come down into the auditorium and have, listen to a speaker. We've got speakers from the aquarium. We've had a canine police officer. We've had bankers come in. So I'll be putting out to the public, say, who wants to come in and speak? Whether it's 2 or 3 kids come down or 50 to 100, it gives them the opportunity to meet and maybe choose a career path. And I know the superintendent has a superintendent's council through our school council. I would like a principal's council to give that sounding board for things that are going on within the school. I think it's a good opportunity to meet with the students in a more formal setting and talk to them. So those are some of our goals moving forward. And I want to definitely thank all of our council members. We have an amazing council. Great meetings, very well attended, and just good discussions on what is best and how we can most improve what's going on here in the middle senior high school. So thank you to all of them. And our first presenter will be Mr. McMurray and some students talking about the robotics course.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I actually was not aware that Ms. Green was going to present her recycled robots, which was really kind of neat. I did not get your email. It must have gone somewhere else in my inbox. And that's fine. No, it's fantastic, in fact. And she had reached out to me originally when she had done the project, and it's something that I think we're going to actually do in a much more elaborate way in the coming years, because it was a lot of fun to go see the elementary kids, and we brought some high school kids down there. It was really kind of neat. We've been doing the robotics here at the middle senior high school for a couple of years before the new building came to fruition. In fact, we have an alum in the audience, this is Sam Rapel, and he was one of the first probably to even work with them, because we had the idea back when we knew this was a vision. So how we usually approach this is most of my students have not had any real experience with the robotics, and in fact, many of them don't have a lot of experience with even a wrench or a screwdriver often. I have students that have been working on their bicycles when they were elementary kids. So they bring a lot of different experiences to the table, and so I work with them, and they work with each other to kind of give them some skills hands-on so that they can actually build some of these robots. We have a few examples here. I have Liam, who is one of my champion robotic guys because he won the competition. And I had 2 other students that were supposed to make it, and they might have got hung up at a baseball and or a tennis match, so they weren't here. We're going to bring them up here because I'm going to bring out a quick game for us that will show you a little bit of what we do. In Robotics 1, we have instructions. They build a robot more or less from the instructions, and they develop some skills. After they develop the skills with the canned version, we then redefine, basically reinvent what they want to do based on skills that their robot's going to try to accomplish in a game. All right? And the game is actually determined each year through VEX Robotics, whereas where these components come from. So every year there's a new game, and this game was called Star Struck, and we'll set it up in a moment. I have a video I'll show you, and we'll set it up as the video is happening. They redefine how they're going to make their robots work. The really neat thing about this is they do the hands-on piece where they construct the robots, but then in order to make the robots work effectively, they actually have to hook the robots up to the computer and program the robots to do what they want and turn all the motors to the correct spots on their lovely controllers. And it has that, like, I don't know, video game feel, which connects with a lot of students. And beyond that, they have some autonomous things that they have to get their robots to do. So why don't we click on the link and let that play, and then we'll show you a little bit what the robots can do. Please.
Collins, any idea? Sound, I don't know if it's...
Yeah, something with the video.
What I like about the class is the fact that it's very hands-on. I get to do things that I enjoy and not things that aren't fun. The original one was all right, but the second model that we're making with the forklift, it's going to be a lot better because we're able to pick things up, and actually with the car we're going to put on, we're going to retract the styrene, so there's less pressure on the floor right here, so these gears can come up easily, go easier. I think you should take this class because the body's just really hands-on. It's a totally different type of class. It's a different environment. You're not inside a classroom sitting down doing work. You're having a good time, doing things that you may enjoy.
I really enjoy the robotics class because it's a really group-oriented class and you get to work with your friends and try new things and use your creativity. I think other people should take this class because it's fun and it's something new compared to whatever else we do in school. So our robot is a claw bot, and right now it has a claw that can reach down and grab new things like stars for games that we play in the class, and it's coming along pretty well.
So we're just going to do a really quick knock the stars around. This is the setup of this year's game. I'm really pleased to announce Sam Rayful here, who is an alum, who was a really good robot driver several years ago. He didn't know he was going to get pulled up here, but he's a good sport. Thank you. Let's do it, boys. Now the idea is to knock some stars off, and I'm ironically not very good at this. I help them, but I don't drive many. You can tell I'm the guy that's not doing a very good job. Maybe Sam's overrated too. Liam's showing us how come he has the skills. And so I do think it's really neat that the elementary kids can start off, maybe imagining what's possible, and then we can help them hopefully to find what they might want to do if this is something they're really interested in. Because they get this opportunity to really get their hands dirty, and if they really like it, then they can actually choose a career path in this. So thank you very much, everybody.
And next up, we have Mr. Nanopoulos, who's going to talk about the senior projects. And let me just say about, Mr. McMurray's class, it's around the corner, and the kids can't wait to get down there to work on the stuff. I mean, whether it's that class or whether it's the engineering class, they're making their own electric guitars, and they're creating them out of the wood. It's an awesome experience to see them excited to be heading to class, and disappointed when the bell rings for the end of class. So that's Mr. Nanopoulos.
Good evening, everyone. It's awesome as I watch the little guys go through their experiences with their teachers. All the presenters tonight showcase what teaching and learning is all about. It's about our curiosity. It is about enthusiasm. It is about trying different doors and different opportunities. And isn't this also like the curiosity that we bring to the experience of our schools? As we go through the grades, we're trying to discover a little bit about ourselves and where we're going and where we might end up at the point of high school and beyond. So about 7 or 8 years ago, we started the senior project with that purpose and that intent. The students that know where they're going beyond high school to actually dive in and actually gain some experience beforehand in the career path of the vocation of their choosing. For a lot of students, and you know, 2/3 of us did not exactly know. We had our interests, we had our skills, we had our passions, and for those students it's an exploratory. So the senior project becomes an opportunity for them to open some of those doors and to apply some of these skills that they have or their passions, or just to entertain the concept that you have to explore before you can actually discover where you're going. And then there's my philosophy, which is enjoy the path, enjoy the ride that you're on, because sometimes it's going to take months or years before you actually understand what your vocation or your career path might be. But adding to that skill set, being not afraid to immerse and take the adventure and the leap into opportunities is really what it's about. And these two students right here, and we're going to showcase about 15, I've showcased about 15 projects that you can open up at your leisure. We're not going to do all 15 tonight, but you can see a little bit of a overview of what some of the students are actually engaging in doing. These two students know what they wanted to do, so they're going to showcase a little bit about their senior projects, how they brought the technology to bear, what research they did, and how it's going to help them with their future plans and opportunities. And so with ladies first, we're going to start with Jessica Cockrell.
And I created a brochure for juvenile diabetes. I was inspired by this to do this project with a sick visit I had myself at a pediatrician. And I was sitting in the waiting room and I was looking around and I saw that there was a lot of literature and brochures for parents and adults, but there really wasn't anything for the kids. Now, when a child is diagnosed with juvenile diabetes, you can imagine it's a scary experience. So I wanted to create something that was fun for the kids to read and help them understand what's going on, because the doctors and their parents are using a lot of terminology that I don't necessarily understand. Now, since I'm going to Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Science with the intent to become a physician's assistant, which specializes in pediatrics, I felt this was a perfect fit for a senior project. To create the actual brochure, I used a website called vistaprint.com, and this is a marketing website which businesses use to create brochures, pamphlets, business cards, postcards, things like that. And if you scroll down a little bit, there's a logo in the right-hand corner called, right there, Caps and Insulin. I created that using a software called Jetta Logo Designer, which is basically, it's very user-friendly. They have templates, they have designs, they have shapes and everything like that, and you can customize your own, which I did there. Yeah. I actually have physical copies if anyone's interested. Thank you.
Isn't that fantastic? Doesn't that look so professional and something that you would actually see in a doctor's office? It's pretty cool. The accomplishments of these kids and how many hours they spend actually perfecting their senior projects. And in this case, these two students spent an enormous amount of time researching and putting it together, and presenting such a professional brochure popped when I was going through these is definitely an example to share with you tonight. So now I'm going to turn it over to Joe, who loves everything about sports and sports videography, and he too has spent a lot of hours in our TV production studio, and he can tell you why he loves spending so much time there.
Thank you, Mr. Anopoulos. For all my life, I've loved sports. I play sports, YAA, baseball, soccer, all the things. I'm an avid watcher of Sports Center in the morning, probably one of my favorite shows to watch. And it's just from a young age that I've known I want to go into the sports media field. So this fall, I'm going to Oklahoma State University with the intent to go into sports media. I'm already signed up to go with the school newspaper, which will probably be a lot of fun for me working in the sports section. For my senior project, I did make my own sports show. It was called The Sports Spotlight with Joe Fazio. And it combines a mix of West Bridgewater sports and national sports, because I know a lot of kids want to hear about the sports in West Bridgewater, but they also like to learn about the sports that they may not know about. So I go into like all sports, soccer, hockey. I even went to esports, which is a rising occurrence in the U.S. So, Mr. Baldwell, thank you.
Yep, go on.
And and this is going to be for my second episode.
Hopefully it's good sound.
Welcome to the Sports Spotlight. I'm your host, Joseph Fazio. Here with me today is senior basketball guard Dylan Bletchner. How's it going today?
Oh, it's going great. Great to be here.
Okay, so the first spotlight we're going to be talking about today is the upcoming Super Bowl. It's going to be February 5th, New England Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons. How do you think that's going to go?
Well, I think it'll be a tough game for the Patriots, but they looked really good last week. Falcons looked really good last week. I think it'll be a great matchup.
So this is going to be the 7th time that the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. 4 wins, 2 losses. 2 losses obviously come from the Giants. It's going to be tough for Tom Brady because he's never gone against a really strong quarterback like Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
But I think the Patriots may pull it out. It's going to be tough for the Patriots defense to go against someone like Julio Jones, 6'6", pretty tall.
Yeah, I think the Patriots defense, what they do better than any team in the NFL is they take your top target and they shut them down. That's what they've done all season. That's what they've done for the last 15 years in their Super Bowl runs. And that's what they did last week, stopping Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. And I think Julio Jones is the first target for them. They're going to shut him down. I think the secondary can live up to the task with guys like Logan Ryan, Malcolm Butler. I think they can shut him down. But I think the real problem that the Patriots have to face is that two-headed win are different. I think the MVP award is definitely going to go to Matt Ryan. He definitely showed it last week. Everybody's saying that he's going to
So
win.
as this plays, there's a lot that goes into the production of one episode. I'd probably say that for all the talking points that I go through, 6 or 7 per episode.
I think with the most
it probably takes me a
valuable
good 10 or
this
11
year,
hours
they're
to
coming
get all
out
the
their
research
second
done
year.
for an episode.
10 and a
It's a
half
lot
sacks.
of statistical research, pop culture research.
They got a taste.
And I do that the same with my subject that I'm talking to, as Dylan Bletchner. He's going to sports analytics in Syracuse. So he has a lot of knowledge, the same that I do about sports. So it really makes a great episode when you have someone talking to you who knows a lot about sports like I do. And the video production, we have a great, amazing video studio at the school. Thousands of dollars worth of equipment that I use, the TriCaster, all the cameras, the editing software we have one of the top editing softwares in the world with the IMAX we use. It makes it a little easy for me in a way, because at the old school, we didn't have some of the same stuff that we have now. And from all the stuff, the inspiration that I got from Mr. Cray and throughout my life in sports, this is my project.
So, just a little bit of a conclusion. Look how polished their projects are. He didn't say this because he's humble and shy. He told me during his presentation to make those 25-minute segments is about 30 hours of work. If you saw that, I mean, I'm thinking I'm going to see him on ESPN someday. I'm going to see Jessica's products on some shelf someday as she enters into the medical profession. Very polished, high-end products that took a lot of different talents and a lot of different skills to pull together. So these are talking points for these kids as he's going on to Oklahoma State, and this is going to be part and parcel of the things that he's going to be able to bring to Oklahoma State and address it with his peers, with his professors. He's going to be able to, they're both going to be able to already have a head start in knowing what they want to do and what they want to be. They've already taken that tremendous leap with this capstone project. So, as I said, there was a lot of great capstone projects this year, senior projects. We just don't have the time to facilitate and bring them all to you. But on these slides that I shared with Mr. Boswell, is at least another 12 or 15. Not that they're the be-all and end-all perfect ones, but just the ones that I wanted to share with you. I wanted to share an eclectic mix of them. Some products, some events, and some traditional ones as well. So, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Alfonso. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Joe. Joe has been very impressive. You said the Pats would have been down a lot. They came back for a remarkable comeback. You could have edited that in there tonight. Next, we have Ms. Serino, our world language coordinator and head of our Global Citizens program.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to show you a couple of new things that I've used in the classroom this year. talking about 21st century learning. The first one is called Play Pause It, where you can take a video that you would normally want to share with students, and I've used them in two different ways. One is to flip the classroom, to take grammar instruction, have the students do that at home, so that when they come to the classroom, they've already been introduced to it, and then we can just use it in a real life communicative way. And the other one is to differentiate instruction, and I'm going to show you that. By that I mean I can take a video to share with students. And in a traditional classroom setting, I might be able to play it twice, maybe 3 times, but that doesn't meet the needs of all learners. This way, students can pause it, rewind it at their own pace. So for the first one, this is level 2. So we're learning the imperfect tense.
Is a verb tense. It's a past tense, so we're talking about something that happened before today. It's a way to describe how things used to be.
So this is a video for the students on learning the imperfect tense. It's one way to speak in the past in Spanish. So again, instead of spending time in the classroom, I have found this video, and what I've done is I've embedded questions in it. So the students have to stop at different points in the video and answer the question. So it focuses their attention on different things that I want them to pay attention to. And you can ask different types of questions. This one here, what I want to stand out are these 2 items. The imperfect tense is a past tense to describe how things used to be or were at one time, because those are 2 different tenses in Spanish, so I want them to clue in on that. So hopefully they just heard the man say it's how things used to be, and they'll click that, and they get feedback right away that they know that they were correct, and they move on to the next question, which is a different type of question.
We are learning a new tense. The first thing that we want to do is know our endings. And our endings for our AR verbs are as follows. We only have one written accent, and that is on the we form on our.
Now here I have a different type of question, because I'm always saying to students, can you find a pattern? Because if you can find a pattern in different verb endings, if you can remember a piece of it, then the other pieces may fall into place. So my question here for them is, do you see a pattern here that you can learn and remember? This is a different type of question. This is an open response type. So this program has several different types of questions that you can ask students. So they watch the video for homework, they work on these questions. I can go in and see how they did, so it gives me feedback on how they're doing individually and as a group. And then when they come to class, they've already looked at this, we'll go over it real quick, and then we use it in a real world way. So that's one way to use this to flip the classroom. The other way I've used this program is what I call differentiated instruction. This is level 4. Excuse me. Sorry about that, it's the old, I can't remember the password. All these different websites. Well, what this was is, again, it was a video, and we watched a movie about Arturo Sandoval. He's a famous trumpet player from Cuba, and he defected from Cuba because he wasn't able to experiment with music. He was only allowed to play one type. So he defected and came to live in the United States, has won all kinds of Grammys, etc. So we watched the story about his life in Spanish, and we talked about history and politics of Cuba, and then there were some interviews with Arturo Sandoval. So I got these little clips of interviews with him. I put that video in a play posit, and I had my Spanish 4 level students watch the video, and I kept stopping it and asking them questions. What did he say was the key reason that he left Cuba, for example? And if the students didn't get it, they can sit with the video and they can rewind it multiple times until they hear the key word that they're listening for, freedom, for example. There's also for the students in this, if they need subtitles, they can get it. If they need to preview the questions, that's a real good help when you're listening to something in a foreign language, to look at the questions first so you can anticipate what you're listening for. So that's one way I've been able to take a video like that I want students to listen to authentic speech, and it's differentiated so each student can individually watch it and get what they need from it. How did I lose that? Is it in here? Sorry about that. Sorry about that. The other one I want to show you is Adobe Spark, and I want to say that Jen Thompson, our new media specialist, has been a huge help with these programs. I've been able to go to her and get assistance in using them. Adobe Spark, the students have really liked. I've used it in all my Spanish levels. It's where students can create with the language. For example, I'm going to show you level 2. We're working with reflexive verbs in daily routine. So the students create their own little mini video of their daily routine. They're using the vocab and the functions that we're learning in class, and they're able to record their voice reading it. It's very engaging. The students have told me that they really like it. They can choose the background music that they use as they tell their stories. So it's presentational language. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so this is Adobe Spark, another new program I'm using this year. This is level 2.
Primero me despierto a las 7 por la mañana. Uso un despertador para despertarme. Una vez que me levanto y tomé una ducha, yo uso un morado para secarse. Yo me visto, me puse pantalones, recarso y camiseta. Después cepillo mis dientes. Después me lavo la cara. Siguiente puedo.
So years ago, we would have students draw a storyboard and create all these sentences, writing them, but this is more presentational. They're speaking the language. Other students can watch it, comment on it, so it just makes it so much wider and more inclusive. The other thing that I want to talk to you about tonight was our Global Citizens program here at the high school. And the Global Citizen Program is designed to help fulfill a mission to educate students to acquire the knowledge, skills, and values needed for success in a diverse and global society of the 21st century. What do we do in Global Citizens? We've done a lot of different things. Colleen Daly is here to tell you. She's one of our students that's been in the program for a couple of years, so she's going to talk to you about her own experience on some of the things we've done.
I am very grateful that I chose to join West Bridgewater Middle Senior High School's Global Citizenship Club in my sophomore year. I've enjoyed many of the diverse activities that we've had, and I feel very enriched by my participation in the events that I have participated in. Being a global citizen requires a knowledge of people and places in the vast corners of the world, and the best way to do that is to foster communication between people and other cultures. Prior to joining Global Citizenship Club, I had no clue where Tajikistan was, or anything about the people that inhabited it. By exchanging cards with a student in Tajikistan, I was able to see drawings of the countryside, examples of the letters from their alphabet, and cultural symbols of the Tajiks. And in the Skyping session I had with them, I was able to ask questions with these students literally on the other side of the world. And I was able to see how our lives were different, but also very similar to our lives in America. We discussed school, clothing, food, and many more fascinating topics. And I was also able to participate in a Russian pen pal and Skyping exchange. And even though the media paints Russians as the enemy, I met a very nice girl who shares similar wishes to be a teacher and see the world, and she holds very similar aspirations to me. We were quite similar for two citizens of countries that cannot get along, and I really value talking to her as a friend. Another group that we reached out to through a Chinese exchange program was obviously Chinese students, and I was able to serve as a Chinese school buddy for some of these children, and I was able to learn a lot about the rigorous school schedule they have in China, and also attend some cultural events with the Chinese, especially here going at Stonewall College. I was able to see many authentic Chinese values, arts, and sample an authentic Chinese meal, which was very nice. By meeting people in foreign nations, I'm able to learn about their culture, but also to respect them as a people, and I really feel part of a global world. If you can learn anything from speaking with people from other countries, it's that despite the difference of appearance, language, or culture, we are bonded by our common humanity, and we truly are a global community of people. Another thing that we try to do in global citizenship is to find ways to become part of our global world in our own community. We were fortunate enough to tour the Buddhist temple in Raynham, which is one of the biggest Buddhist temples in North America, and it was very nice to learn about meditation and about their religion. I'm a practicing Catholic, but I was able to learn a lot about a religion that I knew nothing about, and I really value that experience, getting to see what other people believe in and how other people view the world around them. And especially in today's world where a difference in religion can be a really volatile thing, I feel like it's good to be informed about other religions and world cultures around us. Ignorance and blustery rhetoric are often the cause of harmful prejudices, and we want to stop that because they can lead to very terrible events. But what we need to realize, and what I've come to realize through global citizenship, is that we live in a global neighborhood, and even though we often sometimes succumb to these prejudices, we are able to learn and to have many great adventures in an era of globalization where we not only want to learn about other people, but where we have to learn how to work with other people. And I'm really grateful for my experience with global citizenship in teaching me so much about the world around me that I really feel part of now.
Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Christina. Next, the Howard School, Spencer.
Thank you. Howard School students, are you hanging in there? It's almost your turn. Oh, they're in the back, okay. We've had a great year at the Howard School. I'm going to talk a little bit quickly so that we can move on, but I also want to highlight what some of the wonderful things that have been accomplished at the Howard this year. This was the first year that we implemented the STEM program for students in grades 4 and 5 at the Howard, but K through 5 through the district. And Mr. Dempsey has brought a unique experience to our school with a lot of hands-on activities for the students, incorporating and enhancing the curriculum that the teachers are teaching in the classrooms. And the students have thoroughly enjoyed some of the extended curriculum that he's working on with them and his creativity. He's also, as Dr. Oakley mentioned, he has taken a lot of time to write many grants and helped us to be able to get supplies, especially for next year. So we're excited about that. And this was also the first year that we have implemented a foreign language class for our grade 6 students, because they're not included in the STEM program because we have a science specialist teacher in grade 6 at the Howard. And Mrs. She's, as of tomorrow, I believe, Dr. Quayle has been the teacher of the 6th graders for foreign language, and they're learning both Spanish and French in preparation for their futures. That has been successful this year. And our Howard Wildcat Pride program is going strong. This is the 5th year of it, I believe, and the students are very familiar with it. Every year, every month, our children are highlighted as they are at the Spring Street School, and we have our lucky students get to possibly win a t-shirt at the assemblies. We, as you've heard through the night, we've increased our use of technology through the CMR model, and once again, you actually will see some of the examples of that with our presentations. And as I mentioned with Spring Street, we have the BAMSI, Dr. Livingston joining us to help us with some students who have been struggling in different areas that that has been successful this year. And we began using iReady this year as a reading assessment program through our reading specialist, Mrs. Richmond, for students in grades 4 and 5, and it has really helped us to understand what we need to do to target instruction for our students in reading. Our DARE program has been expanded a bit this year, and with the wonderful Officer Thaxter's help, we have been able to bring in some guest speakers for our 6th graders. We had a bullying prevention class with a group called Boston versus Bullies. And that was earlier this year, and the presenter was, I have to say, very impressed with our students and really left wondering why we had him present, because he didn't actually feel that we had any bullying problems compared to many of the other schools that he sees. And so we were proud of that. We had Officer Smith join Officer Thaxter one day for a self-defense class for our 6th grade students, and they enjoyed that thoroughly. They learned how to get out of a situation if someone comes from behind or if someone is approaching them, how to push them off. And hopefully, if you have a 6th grader, they went home and showed you how to do that and weren't too rough on you. Just recently, over the past few weeks, we were involved in a mock trial on illegal drug use. So we had some very brave students in 6th grade get up with some attorneys who role-played attorneys, district attorneys, and a judge. And the judge, I have to say, was very tough on the kids. It was extremely realistic, and the students did a wonderful job of getting up and really role-playing, and they took it very, very seriously, and we feel that they got a lot out of it. So we're very grateful to Officer Thaxter for bringing those programs into our school for our 6th graders. And a few goals for next year. That is our professional diagram of the layout of our proposed outdoor classroom with the help of Brian Molosky, who I don't think is here tonight, but he's a member of our school council. He actually made us cutouts so that we could be engineers and design the layout of the proposed outdoor classroom that we would like to have in the courtyard area in the back of the school. So we made strong progress on that this year as far as getting funding, and we are pretty certain we're going to start it this summer, and hopefully by the end of next year it will be complete. And another goal, as teachers are doing all over the state, we will be working on aligning our science grade level curriculum with the Massachusetts standard, and teachers have already begun that, and that is a goal to have that completed as soon as possible for next year's teaching. And every year, our 6th graders attend Nature's Classroom. We have some 6th graders with us here who are in that picture. Another successful year with many thanks to our 6th grade teachers and staff and parent volunteers who go and stay for the week with the children, and every year they want to go back. And so it's a wonderful tribute to our staff and to our students who are able to go have a wonderful, outstanding time up there without their parents, or maybe with the parent chaperones, under the direction of the Nature's Classroom staff and their teachers. They come back exhausted, but it's a memorable event and they never forget it. Thank you so much to our school council, staff, and parents who were able to participate this year. We had a productive year. We have completed our school improvement plan for next year, and we made great progress on the school improvement for this year. Some things are ongoing, but that there's never enough time to do everything. But those are some of the highlights of our year. And on to our presentations. Mrs. Holland.
Feel as though I don't need the mic. You probably don't, right? You know that. So I quilt, and as much as it's a hobby of mine, I don't consider it educational. It is. So I always thought, how could I do this with my kids? And if we did make a quilt, what would we do with it? So about 6 years ago, my oldest daughter was going, when she was a sophomore in college, was going on an alternative spring break to Joplin, Missouri, shortly after the tornadoes. So it was a Habitat for Humanity type of organization. So I thought, well, if we made a quilt, she could take it with her and give it to the family of the home that she helped rebuild, which she did. So since then, we've been making a quilt every year and donating it. So my friends Jessica Siltonen, and Lauren Barry are going to tell you about our project this year. Ready? All right, so I kind of stole this title from Sandy Churchill a few years ago, this Stitching Together Math and Compassion for a Cause. Actually, my daughter Leanne is the one who made the slideshow for us, so she did a little research and she put this together for us. And ready? All right, so next one. All right, who's up? Oh, I'm going to give you that.
So first we learned about how much math is involved with quilting and sewing.
Okay, do you want me to do this? I'll do this for you too. How's that?
There's measuring, geometry, conversions, area, and perimeter. We made templates and traced them and cut the material. Then Mrs. Holland taught us how to sew. It was hard at first, and some of the classmates' fingers hurt, and we had to be careful not to stick ourselves. Some people were better at it than others, and when the others needed help, we helped each other out. The pieces got bigger and bigger as we were making the quilt.
Oh, there's one missing. Oh, shoot. Oh, well.
Finally, our quilt was all done. Leanne took our quilt to Livingstone, Zambia in Africa. She gave our quilt to a family living on the farm. While Leanne was in Zambia, we got to FaceTime with her and her friends. We asked her questions about life in Africa, the people, the food, what she was doing, and all sorts of things. When Leanne came home, she and her friends came in to visit and tell us more about their trip to Africa. She told us about the people she worked with on the farm and at the school, and also told us about the family that got our quilt and how they felt when they got it. They also brought African items for us to learn about and try on.
And that's it. Nice job, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if you're thinking of the SAMR model, SAMR, that was R for redefinition. That's about as high as you can go with technology. And our last presentation of the night, Mrs. Wenzel and her students. Hello. So we did a science project. We had finished a unit on space. So we went through and talked about the lunar cycle and different galaxies and the phases. So instead of just doing a test at the end, we did an assessment project where they had to choose. So some of the choices, they were in 3 different sets. They could have chosen to make a comic or a cartoon. They could have written friendly letters, and they had to write one from the moon, talking to the sun, and the sun talking to the moon. They could have chose a flip book where they had to actually make it flip, so it went through every phase over the course of a month. Some of them chose posters, different types of galaxies or eclipses, or they had to write a set of directions for the moon to follow, so it was kind of like teaching the moon how to go through and revolve. So that was one set they could have done, and then the second set was we sort of had different levels, so they had to reach a number of points for the project. So some kids picked 2 from set 1, other kids just picked 1 from set 2 or set 3. So set 2, they could have chose, you can see they're working on a game. It was kind of like Monopoly, but every time they landed, they had to answer a trivia question. So they came up with a set of questions. Some of them made videos of public service announcements or an Earth Space Picture Dictionary
where they took all of the vocab words and then put a picture in and defined it. So those are some options they did that way. And the last ones were models. You can see two kinds. Going to talk to us in a minute about his. And there's another model up here as well. Zach and Drew are going to read us some of their children's book. Some of the kids made a brochure, and others did a news report and reported on it. So they each went through and they got to pick whatever they wanted, as long as their end product told me about either the lunar cycle or eclipses or galaxies. And that was the sort of open-ended, teach me what you've learned. So the final projects, some of them used technology. We used a program called Lucid Press. Kids are pretty familiar with it. They made brochures with that. Other kids used Blogster, which are interactive posters where they can put videos and different clips right in there, so as they're presenting or as I'm watching them, their videos can play or they can scroll through. Other ones use Google Docs and slides to write their stories or to make their cartoons. And some use Google Drawings for the flipbooks or posters. And then we also had some that were not technology-based, where we actually went old school and had some poster board brought in. You can see some of the models they have. We had wood and ping pong balls and Play-Doh and clay and all sorts of different things come in. And then someone actually brought in comic paper that they have from home, so they were able to hand draw their comic strips. So I'm going to start with Kyan. This is Kyan.
Well, my model explains how the lunar cycle works. This is the sun. This is the Earth. The Earth can rotate around the sun, and the moon can rotate around the Earth. So it shows the phases of the moon.
And they're going to read some of their book to you, but we're going to edit it down for you.
The book is called The Lunar Cycle with Johnny and Grandma.
Johnny went to his grandmother's house. He was going to sleep over his grandmother's house for a month. He loved his grandmother. A few days ago, his grandmother bought a telescope to look at the moon while he was there.
His grandmother said, "Come here, Johnny, you're gonna miss the moon." Quickly, Johnny ran over because he wanted to see it. Just as he looked through the telescope, he said, "Grandma, there's no moon. Where is it?" Grandma stated, "There must be a new moon tonight."
What is a new moon? He questioned. It was when the moon is between the Earth and the sun. So on Earth, we wouldn't see the illuminated side. In a few days, we will see a crescent. But why does that happen? Well, says Grandma, the moon orbits, goes around the Earth at a 5-degree angle. It takes 29.5 days to go all the way around the Earth. This is known as the lunar cycle. There are 8 phases of the moon. Every 3.5 days, we see a new moon phase, a new phase. Since you are staying here for a month, we will be able to see all the phases of the moon. We won't look for the moon. We won't look for the moon for the next few days because it will still be a new moon. But we will see a lasting presence. We're going with that.
Wow, that was a lot of information, Johnny screamed. I'm so tired now, too. Can't wait to see the next moon, Grandma. And I'm even more excited to see the full moon. I'm going to get ready for bed now. Thanks for telling me all of this.
Later that night, he asked, "Can you tell me a bedtime story on the moons, please?" Sure, Grandma started with. So one day, there was a little boy who was very curious. He wanted to know everything about the moons and its phases. His grandmother gave him so much information on the moons. After he got so tired, he just wanted to sleep. "Sounds like me," said Johnny tiredly. Grandma continued. The boy was so tired he fell asleep right when he hit the pillow. Just then, zzz, Johnny was asleep.
This is one that a couple girls worked from home and did a news report, so we'll just watch the first 30 seconds or so.
Little kids all around the world, do you know what a lunar cycle is? Well, if you don't, then keep watching to find out. Today we have little Isabella with us, and she will be helping you all learn about the lunar cycle. So Isabella, what do you know about the lunar cycle?
Isn't that the face of the moon or something?
Correct. What smart 6-year-old. Question 2. What is the phase after the new moon?
Is that a crescent?
So close. It's actually a waxing crescent. Question 3. Do you know what phase comes after 1 week of the first full moon?
Oh, I know something. It's a full moon.
Good job. Question 4. True or false? If the moon is full in 14 days, what?
So that's, some of my few kids did the same thing, they brought it home, and that was sort of their project as well. So that's it for me.
Thank you. So you can see, I hope that when I told you at the beginning of this evening that you would be impressed with everything that's going on in West Bridgewater Public Schools, I hope that you are. I want to thank all the parents for coming out, all the teachers, administrators, everyone that came out to present, all the great things we're doing here. I always say that I am so lucky to be the superintendent of schools in this district because it is, and I know I'm biased, but it is the best district in the state, okay? We have great people, great families, great kids, great school community, great administrators. Everyone just really pitches in, and honestly, within the whole community, the whole town pitches in and supports us. So I want to thank you for coming out. We're doing great things. I hope that if you're on school councils, you'll stay on the school improvement councils. You'll stay in touch with us through Facebook and Twitter and see all the great things we're doing. And I have to say that I was one of the, where's Deb? I was one of the lucky recipients of a quilt about 4 years ago. And so I really appreciate it. I use it all the time, so it's great. So again, thank you so much for coming out. I hope you learned something. I hope you are as excited as we are about the West Bridgewater Public Schools and all the things the kids are doing, because when I look back, I say, wow, I can't believe the things that they're doing that are so much younger and so much more knowledge than we did when we were in school. So it's great. Thank you very much.